Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Fan the Flames Live. Today, I am delighted to be talking with Natasha Nicole Harris. And we're going to be talking about, well, lots of things, but part of it is going to be this idea of the new paradigm of business. How do we do business in a different way, a more sustainable way? How do we show up as our full selves in our businesses? And looking at, so how does that enable us to fan that flame of the business self without burnout, and also supporting those that work with us? So Natasha, please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Robert. So delighted to be here and having another juicy conversation with you. I do love when we show up and have a chat about putting the world to rights. Well, I'm Natasha Harris. I'm an intuitive business coach and mentor. I'm a supervisor. I mentor people. I really support people and soul entrepreneurs, soul-led entrepreneurs who really want to make a difference in the world, so they can really make that difference, but also to really light their souls and also have a bigger impact in the world through their leadership and how they're showing up in business and doing things in a way that just really makes our hearts sing, rather than hard work and effort and all the other stuff that I like to avoid.
I like this idea that you're lighting souls and I'm lighting fire, so that feels like a nice connection there. And so you talk about soul led. What is it that you mean when you say that?
That's a good question. So really, for me, it's really about this burning desire that we have in our, in our deepest parts of ourselves to really make a difference, to really put ourselves out there. It's that yearning, it's that desire to leave a legacy of some sort. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be like a world leader or anything like that, but it is just this desire to input something back into the world in a very different way. So it's really led by this burning need almost, and desire to really make a difference in the world, and how we go about doing that. And that can be quite scary for a lot of people because we don't really know what we're doing. We don't really know what this big mission is that we want. We just know we need to do something and impact in a different way than having a 9-to-5 job that we just get up for and that doesn't really light us. We want to get excited about waking up every morning, about the people that we work with, that we love working with these people. We can see the difference that's being made and kind of rippling it out into the world. And I think that's, for me, is really what soul led is about. We know it comes from something much deeper within us than just to wake up every day and do something that we feel okay about, that we kind of enjoy. It's a yearning. It's like it won't be put out. It's a bit like fanning your flames. It won't be put out. It just won't.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because one of the things that I think that coaches do is help us to recognize or notice that little yearning, because we can sometimes feel it but not recognize what it is as a drive or a purpose or something that's there to change the world or to support others. And I think coaching sort of teases that out of people, and then go, right, so what do I do with this now? And I guess that's where you come in and you go, right, here's what you can do with this. And you talked about coming from an intuitive place. So this isn't a script of what you can do. This is let's explore and notice what comes up as we do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for the majority of the people that I work with, they have a sense of what it is. But I think you're absolutely right. As coaches, we really can tease that out of people and help them to shape it and to expand it. Because when we, a thing I've learned about myself really is that I've always known that I've had that within me, but there's this there's been a fear factor in me. It's like, well, what will that mean if I step out and do things differently? We are so conditioned to walk the line, to do the path and the route that we think we're here to fulfill. But actually, we know we're here to do something that's a little bit out of the norm. I mean, like for me, it was really, really scary stepping out and stepping up and really owning what I do, because I work with the Akashic records, I work with my intuition purely, I work with the wisdom of the guides, I channel, I lead activations and meditations. And so when we talk about being a business coach, that's why I kind of tap on the intuitive part at the beginning, so people can get a sense that I'm not your traditional business coach or mentor. I'm working with something that again is really to look into the deeper, darker places of what are we hiding from, what are we afraid to do, and how can we step out into that and up into that, and just to really hold your hand, like to hold people's hands through that. Because I know, and it's not that long ago for me, I remember how hard that was to turn around to my family, to my friends, and say, hey, I'm playing in the magic here. And they're like, what? Like, yeah, there's this whole load of magic that happens when you step into the energetics and you really start listening to the calls of your soul. And like, it's scary. It really is scary. And it's okay to have that fear. So it's really about knowing that you're not alone. There are so many people out there. The more doors I open in this circle, the more I hear and get to communicate, to connect with women, men, people all over the world who are like, yeah, there's something else. There's something more. And we've got to do it.
So you threw a lot at us just
Sorry.
there. That's all right, man. It's all good. It's all good. But so there are a couple of things there that I want to sort of circle back to. So one of them is this idea of the fear factor. This thing that we know we have a desire or a yearning to do, but there is a fear. And I recognize that often that fear is one of what will people think of us, but also there's a real fear about, well, what if I'm wrong? What if I don't succeed? How do you hold people's hand in that space?
Yeah. That's a great. It's like, what if I'm wrong? So I have so many people come to me and say, I want to know what my purpose is, and then I'll get on with it. And it's really challenging for me to say to people, you are unique. You are a beautiful, wonderful, unique soul. You get to choose. This is why we have free will, because we are free to choose what we want to do, how we want to show up, how we want to respond in every situation, every experience that we have. You get to choose who you want to become. It's a becoming. It's like
Becoming.
I often say in my coaching circles, you know, I look back at who I was 6 months ago, a year ago. If I look back to 6 years ago, I'm like, I don't recognize that person. Like that woman, like, I'm so proud of every step I made. I had no idea that I was going to end up here today. And I'm so excited to see where the next 6 months, the next year will go. And so that's what I reassure my clients with. It's not about categorically knowing. I help them and support them in really being okay with the uncertainty. That's where I hold my clients' hands, that it's okay. We've got this together, in the sense that we don't know, but if you keep following your soul and what it's leading you and where it's leading you to go, you will get the answers. Nothing is a mistake. Nothing is a mistake. Everything is for you.
So I love this idea of we're becoming something. So it's like it's a continual or continuous unfolding, because often we want to arrive. We kind of get caught up in the, well, what's the destination and can I get there now? And there's something about that becoming and unfolding, that's the journey that we take, and how do we relish and enjoy and savor the journey as it unfolds. You know, a lot of people talk about, you know, it's the journey, enjoy the journey, but I also realize it can be hard to really lean into that, because we kind of think we should be getting somewhere, and that's part of the sort of the external expectations and social kind of expectations of we should be doing something, so that enjoying the journey. And I guess when we get okay with the unfolding, and we get okay with the certainty, even if we're not fully okay with it. But it also allows us to get excited about the what's coming next,
Yeah.
because we know that there's going to be a next, and there's going to
Yeah.
be maybe a new direction or a growth around the direction that we have. And then that can be the kind of the exciting bit to what's happening.
Absolutely. And when we can be in an energy of excitement, we can really allow ourselves to be in more of that. So whatever, like, this is the energetics. This is what I call the energetics of business, which I absolutely love, because our business is simply an extension of who we are. And if we get to know ourselves in this sense of, like, who do we want to become? What's the unfolding? Looking back and going, oh my gosh, look at the journey I've taken so far. Even if you're right at the beginnings, you are not at the beginning of your life. You have a whole wealth of experience and knowledge
Mm.
and understanding of what has brought you to this very, very juncture in life, and where is it that you want to go next. This is true leadership. I think this is really where we lead ourselves, and we can really lead ourselves to doing something great. We have to be committed. I think that's the thing as well. It's like this commitment to our mission, to really listening to what we want to do and how we want to do things. And it's reshaping things now. We're done with the old ways of doing business and entrepreneurship and being an employee, an employer. We need to step up now. We need to do things differently, and we're figuring it out. We are all of us that are coaches, healers, light workers, activators. We're working it out right now. We're holding each other by the hand, and we're co-creating something that's new as we step away from the old ways of doing things. So believe me when I say, none of us really know what we're walking into. We're co-creating it right now.
Yeah.
So to have those definitive answers, it might not be what you want to hear, but you won't get them. You won't.
And I
You've
guess,
got to figure it out.
and I sort of think that because we're co-creating it, we can't fix it in stone, because we're creating it moment by moment. And I loved what you said there, the new energies of business. And it's this idea that energy is a business. Business is an energy.
Yeah.
It has its own life to it, its own
Yes.
kind of rhythm and soul to it. And part of our job, I guess, is to support that energy and feed into it and feed from it, as opposed to just deplete it and take from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because our business can deplete us as well.
Mm.
So we can deplete our business, and our business can totally and utterly deplete us. Look at, how most people are doing business, and most entrepreneurs are floundering on the brink of bankruptcy, trying. And we can really do it differently. I know it because I'm living it. My clients are living it. I'm surrounded by communities of entrepreneurs who are doing it. And we can do it, but we're co-creating it right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, our business is an extension of who we are.
So yeah, sorry, because there's something I think that's really crucial there to recognize, is that, and it's a conversation that's been triggered in the last sort of week and a half for me. This idea that we are not separate from our business. Our business is a reflection of us. We are a reflection of our business, and also that for a lot of us, a lot of the time, I say that with caveats, of course, we put on our face for business. We go and do our work. We come home and we take that face off. And there's something about that's really showing up for me recently in a lot of the conversations that I've had about how can we actually be the same in all of those spaces?
Yeah.
How can we find spaces and environments? Because I don't think all environments enable this to happen. So how do we find those environments that enable us to be whoever we are fully in those spaces? And then the other question is, well, who are we, and what's the work that we need to do to find that self, so that self can really express itself in the business that we create?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So where we surround ourselves, who we surround ourselves with, are all contributing factors to the energy that we put in. If we're putting in hard work consistently, or it's like, oh, everything's a push, everything, it's like, we first of all, we create resistance, because
Yeah.
anything we push against creates a resistance on the other side, and all that we'll get is resistance. Everything we desire will always have that resistance to it, and we're just pushing ourselves further and further away. Anything we put into our business is what we'll get back. It's just why most entrepreneurs and business owners are burnt out, exhausted, like pulling their hair out, going, how am I going to make this work? And it's not about, oh, this, just do this and it'll all be fine. It's like, this is the challenge of doing New Earth business, of business energetics, is that every day we come with something different. A life challenge will come into our lives. Something will happen that's unexpected, and we will have to navigate that. So our balance of what we're like, we hit a sweet spot and we're like, yay, found the balance, cool, just keep doing that. Then something else comes in and our balance has to shift.
I think, I'm not sure if it was Elka Edwards that said this or pointed to this. It could have been Elka, it could have been Claire Mitchell. I'm not sure now who said it, but the idea of we're rebalancing. So it's not that we go, I found the balance, right, that's it, don't move. It's like, well, actually, we're constantly going, right, so what do I do a bit more here? What do I do a bit more there? How do I show up in my business fully as me, so that my business can recognize that? And how do I work hard but not push?
Yeah.
I guess there's that balance as well, because people listening might be going, what are you saying? I don't need to work hard? And it's like, well, yeah, you do, but I guess it's the quality of the working hard that you
Yeah.
bring to it, and also the language of the mind that you bring to your working hard.
Oh, yeah. Language is so key, and working hard will mean something different to everybody that's listening. So for me, I prefer the word, I preferred not to use working hard, because for me, I've always been a pusher. I have been that person who is like 100 miles an hour, go, go, go. I know I have that energy in me. So that's what hard work means for me. And that's not good for me whatsoever. That burnout, I don't want to ever go back there. So, and I have to watch it. I have to keep my eye on it. I have to, because I can slip back into it, and that's okay. It's just about like, oh, okay. Oh, right. Those patterns are showing up again. Okay. What can I do to rebalance that? Because I've tipped myself out of balance. But for me, a better word is effort. It's like, I have to put in the effort, but I have to put in the consistency. But what I'm doing is always, I come back to, is what I'm doing, like, am I putting my heart and soul into it? But is it fun? Is it in flow? And does it excite me? So I always come back to those three words. Sometimes change for me. So if this kind of thing resonates with you, then I'd suggest find three words that you want things to bring you. And for me, it has to feel in flow. It has to feel easy. It has to feel, but there's an effort in it. You have to like kind of go, oh, this is not so easy, but oh, okay, here's my flow. If that flow never comes, then I know I'm pushing in the wrong direction.
So my three words that live up there are happy, relaxed, fun.
Yay!
How is what I'm doing making me happy, or is going to bring me happiness? Because sometimes it's like, oh, this is going to take a bit of effort to get done, but it's going to bring a happiness as part of it. How do I stay relaxed? Because when I tense up and everything tenses up with me, and then it all becomes a bit and then how do I make it fun? How do I go, this is fun? How do I show up and enjoy this? And and that energy then bounces back and ripples through. And so speaking of bouncing back, rippling through, there was a word you said that I'd love us just to kind of unpick a little bit, because people listening will be going, what did she say? What does that even mean? So you said the Akashic Records. So tell us a little bit about the Akashic Records. I know we're bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, I love these
beautiful
kind of conversations. And this is what's so fun. It's like, it's like about bringing that fun element of it. This is a conversation. It's work. It's like, this is what I do. And this lights me up. This gives me so much joy. And I love the whole bouncing around. So I hope everyone's keeping able to keep up a little bit. But the Akashic records, oh my goodness. So the Akashic records, I'll give you if you've never heard of it, the Akashic record, if we think of everything as energy, I'll just give you a brief idea of where it comes from. If we think of everything as energy, everything has an energetic resonance. Our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, everything we do, think, say, enact has an energetic reaction. We know this now, scientifically proven. We also know that we cannot destroy energy. We can't. We simply can't. You can't destroy an atom. You can't destroy energy. But what you can do is transform it. So that's why we can go from feelings of sadness, frustration, anger to feelings of joy, happiness, wonderment, gratitude, all of these things. We are a range of emotions. We're not trying to eliminate some and be something else. We are all of it. That's, I think, first and foremost, what we truly have to understand in our humanness is that we're not trying to get away from anything. We're just trying to experience what we're experiencing in the moment. So if we think of everything as energy, as I said, and we can't destroy it, where does it go? Where does everything we've ever spoken, every experience we've ever had, where does it go? It has to be somewhere if we can't destroy it. So that's what we call our Akashic record. It's simply, I like to call, a database of all our energetic imprints of everything we've ever thought, said, done, heard, experienced. It's like an energetic imprint into this energetic database. And we can access that, like we can access Reiki energies, like we can access energies of the body, energy bodies. It's no different. It's just a different way of tapping into the energy. And our Akashic record came into existence. We each have a personal Akashic record. Each came into existence the moment our soul came into existence, because that's our energetic resonance. Your energetic being, your soul, your higher self, however you choose or whatever resonates with you, that's when that came into existence. That is when your Akashic record came into existence. So it holds seed information about who you are at soul level, what your soul gift is, what your soul power is, how you show up in the world, aligned to your soul in a human body, and express that outwardly in the 3D world. That's in a nutshell what it is. But it holds information, if you believe in past lives, about every single past life experience that we've ever had. Now, we know that we've kind of batted up against certain patterns of behavior that we know, like we've worked on, we've kind of gone, I've done the work on this. Why does this keep showing up? It's kind of imprinted in our Akashic record. So when we can look at our Akashic record and go, this was a past life experience that you had that has this energetic resonance, we can clear it, and then we clear the pathway in front of us to go, okay, we've cleared some of that energy. Now what conscious choices am I going to start making to bring in a new and different energy?
I love this stuff.
How quickly did I explain that?
That was pretty quick. That was pretty good. And, because there's a couple of thoughts here for me so one of the thoughts is we need to believe in past lives for this work to have an impact on us, because it's talking about the energy of something and the clearing of energy. So even if we hold the idea of past lives as a metaphor, it still enables the work to take place. Yeah. I love also this idea that there is this soul gift, this soul power, this soul wisdom. But I feel like James Brown as I say that. But anyway, there is this this gift and this wisdom that we have that we can just kind of have a look at and notice what is that? What's that thing that is unique and special about me that I can then present to the world or offer as a gift out or work from, which then makes me think about, well, when we work from that soul gift into a business, we create something so much more beautiful, not grammatically correct there, but there's something so much more beautiful about that, because it isn't just about earning money. It's about so much more. It's about a gift. It's about a beauty. There is a resonance and a heartfeltness to it. So when I meet people who do business that really feel it in their heart, then you resonate with this, and you just want to work with them and support them and help them in any way you can
Absolutely.
because of how they're showing up in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the way you just explained that as well. And it's so true. It's like when we show up with this soul wisdom as part of who we are, we can really shape our business and how we want to do things, because the rest of it we get to choose. But it's like, how do we step into who we are? Because that's where the power of things come in. It's like, it's a knowing of yourself. It's like, I don't know, I just want to do this. I'm like, I own who I am. I feel it. I embody it. I'm practicing it. I'm walking in my own shoes to really bring that energy into everything that I do, the essence of that. And this is what really makes our hearts sing. I really truly do believe it. It's what lights our soul on fire. It really is. And yes, that doesn't mean to say there'll never be challenges. Of course there will be. We live in a 3D world, and we're not here to say I'm not trying to kind of say, oh, there's all this magic, and once you tap into the magic, nothing else will ever happen. It's like, it's who we want. How do we want to navigate all those other things around that? And when you can do that as uniquely, like you're in your uniqueness, right? Because we are 8 billion souls on this planet. No one is the same. No one soul is the same. Our uniqueness is as unique as a fingerprint. And we are all busy doing, oh, I must do this 7-step to this, and this 8-10 step to this, and oh, I've got to do this. And we're trying to do business differently, but we're all still being robots and doing everything in a very linear way. And we're forgetting to do us. And this is where I have just seen clients just find me, like people just arrive in my life. My business just expands. I do what I love. The right clients come because I'm just being me. I really, truly am just being who I am in every other walk of life. And people will resonate with it, and some people won't. And I'm not here to make everybody love me. That's something I've had to really heal within myself, because I'm like, I want to be loved. We all want to be loved. But I can't make everybody love me. But those who do want to work with me, and they get me. They feel it. You feel it when you want to work with someone. It's just, you just said it. And we get to do business our way now. This is what's so beautiful about doing things in the new paradigm. When you get to know who you are, you do business your way. You throw out the rule books, burn it, put it on the flames, get rid of it. There are some things you will want to do because they're just things you know innately how to do. But the rest of it, do it your way, whatever lights your soul. There are people out in the world. You only have to look around at what people are doing and how people are doing, making millions. And again, it's not about making money, but there's nothing wrong with making money too. Let's make that very, very clear, because this is how you can instill change in the world, where your money goes, how you spend your money, how you support other people with money. So there's nothing wrong with money, but it's not purely about money. But you can see people who are smashing it, and they're not doing anything that in the rule books around marketing, around sales, around how to run a business, the email list, the this, the that we've been told that we have to do. You can't have a successful business if you don't do it. So
because some of those things can be useful, right? Some of those ideas can be useful, but when we feel that they're not working for us, there's something about that, because I'm doing some work about physical intelligence with Claire Dale, and this idea of the wisdom of the body. And so if we're feeling that this doesn't quite fit for me, there's information there. How do we listen to that information and pay attention to it and go, right, so I'm going to do something different. I'm going to experiment. I'm going to play, and I'm going to see what happens. Because as you said there, that people will resonate with you because of what you're doing, and they will join you in what you're doing, or they will support you in what you're doing, or they will come to you to support themselves in what you're doing. But when we're not really doing what is ours, what is our purpose, what is our soul, then people don't. Then it is hard, and then it becomes hard work and a slug, because we're not really living it and firing it. And one of my thoughts is, when we find that little ember and we blow upon it and we fan it and it turns into that flame, people can see that light.
Yeah.
And when they see that light, they're drawn to that light. But then that light can also light other people's lights,
Absolutely.
which is also that thing about when you said, there's nothing wrong with making money because money is also energy.
Yes.
And we can use that energy to create new energy and create new and different by how we choose to use it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Money is currently the currency that we use to exchange value. And it is just energy. If you think about it hard, it doesn't even exist. It doesn't exist anywhere in the world. It's just numbers on a computer, and simply it's just energy. And it's how do we allow that energy to flow into the right hands now? This
Yeah.
is how we're co-creating the new earth, I believe, and new earth leadership. How do we allow this money to flow into the right hands for people to use it for good?
So, because, before we did paper and we could see the physical transaction happening, but now it's like it's even more seen as energy because you use your phone and you're just tapping and
Yeah,
it's just beaming your money around into
yeah.
different places because so that kind of shift of mindset that it's energy is almost easier to hold on to now. And there's a phrase you said a couple of times then I just want us to delve into it a little bit, was that idea of new earth.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the idea of new earth.
So basically, we are stepping out of the old ways of doing things, the old paradigm, the old patriarchal systems that we know don't work. We know that things are pretty broken. That it, we know it doesn't work. I'm not going to go into it. But what we are co-creating as a result of that is a new way of being, and it's coming and stepping more into the divine feminine energies. And that's got nothing to do with biology. It's just the energetics, which are more around balance, connection, unity, collaboration, coming together, you know, creating this flow and ease and
Mm,
peace in a balance, right? And we're not here again to eliminate the divine masculine energies, which are more about doing, pushing, creating, drive, and because we need that.
mm,
We can't create anything. Masculine energy is purely about creation. We can't create anything in the physical, you know, in the physical realm simply by sitting in the meditation space and going, oh, just let it come to me. I mean, I'm a fan of meditation, and those two, that's such an important element of everything that I do. But we can't do that alone. This is not what coming into the new earth is all about. It's actually about how we bring in those energies together
yeah.
by listening, opening the channels to the divine wisdom, to the universe, to the angels, to the guides, to those intuitive nudges, while allowing that channel to flow through us in order to take action, create, do, create motivation, create things. That's what creates results. And so that's what I think the new earth is now. That, and like, people want to know, well, when are we going to, like, I often get asked as well, so when is the new earth going to come? Because this is really tough, because we're in the moment in the transition, and as we
Yeah.
know, in any situation, transition is challenging. That's why I believe we are experiencing so much polarity in the world right now, because people don't know which direction to turn.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got a foot firmly stuck in the old and I don't want to go there because I know it and it's comfortable, or I'm like trying to go over here but everything keeps pulling me back. So we're in this transition, and it's not a comfortable space for us to be in. It really isn't. But it's like, that's where I believe we're going, and we are creating it right now.
And that really speaks of this idea of balance. It's like we're not being all, not just in the divine masculine, and we're not just all in the divine feminine. It's about how do we balance and allow these two energies to work together to create, and how they create that harmony in being. Because we can recognize if we're too meditative and we're just in our om space, it's hard to do the physical stuff in the world that we exist within.
Absolutely.
And if we're just doing all of the doing stuff, it's hard to find the peace in that, and the coming home to self in
Yes.
that. So it's this I love this idea of it's a balance, but also there is this kind of, you kind of physicalized it as it's coming through us. It's like it's coming from outside into and then back out again, and then I'm assuming it kind of ripples
Yes.
round and it's just kind of flowing through and looping around. And that's where, I guess I'm kind of making this up as I speak, but that's where that cleansing of the self and knowing what we want to do and knowing who we are is so important, because as we're putting stuff out, it's coming back to us as well. So we're putting out a full sense of self, that's what's going to ripple back to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And it's spot on. It's just like, this is the beauty of it. When the words come, and every time we explain something, we'll explain it slightly differently, because it's like how we make sense of the world around us, and that's challenging as well. But it's and if masculine and feminine don't vibe, it's like the moon, the sun, the yin, the yang, like the goddess, the warrior, whatever we hold all of it within us. Every
Mm.
single one of us hold all of those energies within us. And it is. And when we start to play with both, the magic happens. It really truly does. And this is where I talk so much about the energetics of business, and like, who do we want to be in our business? What are we doing? Why are we doing it? What lights us up? How do
Yeah.
we spark that beautiful energy that people, it when you meet people, it's like you can't get enough of them. You're like, hey, I want to hang out with you again. This is cool.
Yeah.
Like, this is all or otherwise, those people, it's like, oh, do I have to see them again? They're exhausting. And it'll be because they're hanging out in one energy or another predominantly.
Yeah.
And it's how do we start standing up for ourselves and saying, me first, me, what lights me up? Because when I put myself first and that's something I've had to work very hard on, because I'm like, it's everybody else and then I come last. It's like, when I do, everyone else benefits.
And I think this is the thing that we often miss. We think that if I feed everybody else, then that's great. And we need to feed others. Yeah, I get that. But if we're not fed ourselves, then we become depleted, and then we can't do the stuff with others. If we don't have the energy, I see some business owners working, really long hours.
Yeah.
And you see them running out of energy, that their tank just going down over time until they hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And then they can't serve those in their business.
No.
So their business then can't survive.
No.
Because there's no drive, there's no leadership, there's no visionary in that space. And it's like, so how do we recognize that actually it's not a selfish thing to look after the self? It's actually a generous thing, and it's generous to others and those around us when we look after ourselves and we put ourselves first.
Absolutely. And I think that this is all part of the new earth as well. It's like, how do we start showing up differently for ourselves, and how do we lead ourselves to have the most beautiful, shiniest, loveliest, thriving life, when even, alongside the challenges, because they will come for sure. We're not here to eliminate those. And I think that's something that's, kind of misinterpreted way, way, way too much in spiritual realms today. Still, like, people who've got tens of thousands of followers are still teaching this, like, it's all out there. It's all within you. It's not, there's nothing out there. It's all here. And this is where we become the leaders of our life in a beautiful, and for me, leadership is power and compassion.
Yeah, nice.
It's powerful. It's like, but it's soft and it's beautiful. And it's like, this is where the two energies come in. It's the fire and the moon. It's the air and it's the, and it's sun. It's it's all those dualities that hold
Yeah.
hand in hand, however we see them. That's new earth leadership, and that's not what we are being shown right now anywhere around the world. It's like, but we are that we don't have to be on the stage, but we do it individually, and this is how we shift and create the new, like, we create the new paradigm, and we find the other people and we stand hand in hand, we grab their hands and we're like, yes, let's walk this, because together it's easier. And I use this phrase a lot, but together we rise. It's
Yeah.
not about me over you. That's the old
Yeah.
paradigm,
Yeah.
competition, everything over the other person. This is not where we're going. It's
It was
like,
one of the things I put down was, we put ourselves first, but without taking from others. So it's not
no,
about putting myself first in a greed sense. It's an energy sense. And then there's Amy Wambach, her book Leading from the Bench, where she talks about, or maybe it's Leading from the Sidelines. I can't quite remember now. But this idea that, we don't have to be in front to do the leading. We can be part of the team and be the leader. And we have to be the leader of ourselves in order to be part of leadership.
absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think we often give away our power, and I think this is, we give away our spark, we give away our flame, and we think that somebody else is going to take care of it. Well, actually, I'm going to own this, and I'm going to take care of this. And it doesn't mean that you have to run a multi-million pound company. It could be that you run a family, or you just run yourself.
Yeah.
But it's about how do you lead in that space, from that space of power and compassion, which, reminds me of martial arts. There's power in there, but there's also a softness about it.
Yes. Yes, there has to be a gentleness to it as well, that side of it. And I just had a beautiful vision as you were talking as well. It's like, we have to take ownership and sole responsibility for our flame, for our spark. It's yours. Every time you give it to someone else, you deplete yourself. You give away your power. You deplete yourselves. And it's like, when we can hold that beautifully and strongly but softly, we really do change the world. I really do believe that. Without a doubt, we're changing the world. It might not look like that on the face of it, but I'm blown away every time I have conversations with people who really like contributing in such beautiful ways, in small ways. And it doesn't have to be big. We sometimes feel like we have to be like reaching 100,000 people for us to have an impact. You change one person's life, it will impact 10.
Well, it's the ripple, isn't it? You work with one person, and it's one of the things I love about coaching is that you work with the individual that sat in front of you, but that individual has all of the others individuals that sit beside and with them, and then the individuals that sit with them, and it's just this ripple. So actually just supporting, changing, enabling one person creates change, a vast change. And often we don't see that change. I think that can be sometimes the difficulties that we go, well, I can't see the shift. I'm working, but I can't see it. And it's because it's happening beyond us, out there in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know it, that I'll do a piece of work with someone, and about 6 months later, I'll be like, oh, that was why that was important. Oh, okay. Now I get it. And so we don't even know when. So we try so hard to make that shift for our clients in the moment. And actually it could be 6 months further down the line. But also, if you do want to go and impact 10,000 people, go do it. Don't let anyone take that flame away from you. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. You can. If that is what is burning inside you, go find someone to hold your hand, walk alongside you, and let you and help you and enable you and do the inner work to become the person that can hold those 10,000 people, that can hold the energy of being in front of 10,000 people. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it.
Yeah. And that, as you was talking there, it's like it came back to that. Allow the becoming to happen, allow the emergence to take place, find what you want to do, find what your soul gift is, and then allow it to emerge into the world, allow it to grow, allow it to expand. So I know that we could talk about a million different things and we
I
could
know.
bounce all
This is
over the place,
amazing.
but I feel like we've kind of shared a lot, and I would love for people to make comment about what did they get, what did they hear, and what would they like us to come back to, because I'd love to have you back, Natasha, for us to kind of explore other areas and different spaces and look at how you're working in the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
And for people that want to contact you to either sort of see what you're doing or to join what you're doing, how do they get hold of you?
So the best place is to follow me on Instagram, Natasha Nicole Harris. Make friends with me on Facebook. I've got opening in a couple of weeks. I'm opening a brand new Facebook group called Soul Aligned Leaders. I'm going to be running a 5-day wealth calibration journey, which is free. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing, activating wealth within you that you already hold, those codes. Go to my website, www.mindbodysoulenergy.co.uk. If you want to chat, just send me a message. Let's chat. Like I have a podcast as well. I run a show, Akashic Wisdom Show. So loads of ways to get hold of me.
Brilliant.
Just send me a message. I'd love to connect. Together we are definitely stronger, and we are co-creating the new earth. If that message resonates, get in touch.
So if that resonates for you and you kind of go, yeah, I'm vibing with what Natasha's saying, then reach out to Natasha in all those multitude of ways. And, Natasha, it's been a real pleasure sharing this space with you as always.
Always.
And, I love the way that our conversations just kind of bounce around. But I think at the core of all of it is be yourself, work out what that is, show up as that, find those around you that can support you to do that, and be that, and recognize it doesn't end. There isn't I'm myself and it's sorted. There is an ever emerging and ever becoming and ever growing and ever flowing self that's at play here.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, there is. Go enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Your
Thank
soul
you,
to shine. Thanks,
Thank you
Robert.
so much. Thank you, everybody,
pleasure.
for watching, listening. Drop us a comment.
Yes.
Reach out to us. It'd be great to hear from you, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you, Tash.
Bye.